Hello, my name is Jaden.
And I'm Philip.
Today, we're going to be talking about the hit series Dragon Ball, and we'll be covering four topics: the games, the manga, the movies, and the characters. So let's not delay this any further. Let's get started. Philip, let's start about the games.
Alright, so there are a variety of games when it comes to Dragon Ball, such as games that you can play on mobile, such as your phone or like a tablet, or those where you can play on console or like a computer, such as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 or Dragon Ball Fighters.
And there's mobile games like Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle and Dragon Ball Legends. Recently, Dragon Ball Legends has um, started its anniversary, which they released a new character, Goku and Frieza. They're very good and they're very cool. I've had my experience with them. Philip, what's your experience with them?
Uh, I've had a very great experience, but so far I think they're great characters within the game and it's a new introduction to something within the game, having a new system for their kit called a Dragon Rising Rush notification.
Yes, it's very annoying to deal with. Not for me. I'm better. But
What?
uh, but yeah, they're good. Uh, they've also released a bunch of other units like a transforming Jiren goes from regular to full power. Uh, two other characters that no one cares about,
No,
and
Kiawe. Casserole.
no one cares about Casserole.
I care about
But yeah,
casserole.
those units are cool and stuff. It's difficult to grind, but it's the payoff is grand.
There's also a new
That's enough about
introduction.
Legend. Wait, what?
What? No. They reintroduced Hit back into the game. Very cool. Very cool unit. Definitely good on the team
He
for
stops
sure.
time.
No.
He doesn't stop time.
He's back in the game, but personally, it's probably biased, but I think he's a great unit. Especially, he's
Back in
fun
the
to play
game,
with.
but is he back in the game? You know what I'm saying?
He's always been back in the game.
Is the game.
He is the game. He is the
Okay,
game.
moving on from Dragon Ball Legends. The other game from the phones is Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. There are two different versions of this game, one for Japan and one for the rest of the world. They are on two very different schedules, sometimes, most of the time.
Sometimes.
The releases for their characters can vary from months to days to happening at the same time. So, as of right now, the Japan release of the game have released a new character, Turles, which people find very polarizing. People either think he's
Very,
alright,
very
he's
mixed
terrible,
reviews.
or he's good.
For the
I
global
personally
side,
got him. Yeah, for the
no.
global side, actually. No, for the global side, they
Hellfighter
released
Super 17.
they released a dual unit, which is 17 and Hellfighter 17, who transform into Super 17.
Yay.
Something.
Very, very
Philip
okay
over
unit.
here, he was
No.
on Japan.
No.
Philip summoned for him a lot. Did he get him? Not at all. Is
No.
that his fault?
Please.
Yes, because he's terrible. Terrible unit. Don't summon.
No. He's okay. He's okay. He's mid. He's in
Very mid.
between.
In between life and death. But
No. No.
so he's pretty okay. Turles, which is the character that they just released on Japan, uh, he, from my personal experience, since I got him and his other characters that came out with him, I think he's pretty good. He was able to take hits from some of the toughest bosses in the game, like Broly
Shenron.
and yeah, Shenron. And
Yippee.
I say he's pretty good.
Yippee.
So now we should move on to the game still. Yep, we're still talking about the games. Uh,
Yippee.
Dragon Ball Fighters recently has just gotten a major
Update.
rework with some of its characters, like
After a whole
Blue Vegeta,
year.
Super Saiyan Vegeta. Yes, after a year of promising a new kind of system
Balance
for
patch.
playing online, they have not introduced a new system for playing online, which makes the game very difficult to want to play. but they have introduced a new patch where they reworked some of the characters in the game, good amount. Whether that be for the better or worse, that's up to you. A lot of my
Personally,
characters
it
got
seems really
nerfed.
nice. It's personally, I think it's really nice. It's
Yeah,
a way
yeah,
to
you don't
fresh
play
up the
Gogeta,
play
buddy.
style.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't want to hear it.
It's just a good way to refresh the style because many people have been it's been neglected a lot. It's been updated like once this whole year, but future updates are said to come. So hopefully, those come out soon.
Hopefully this year because the game's getting very dry.
No,
Okay, now Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, very big game. Some like it, some don't. I
very
personally
mixed
got it
reviews.
recently. I like it. Is it my favorite? No, but it's still pretty cool. It's very different from the other Dragon Ball games that you see nowadays. But they recently, well, sort of recently, just released a Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo. Beast Gohan seems to be the best character in the game of counters and hit killing people in one hit. Uh, Destroying them in one hit. I don't think we should say killing, but
No,
yeah, he's very good. Orange Piccolo, no one cares. Beast Gohan's on top.
care about Orange
Anything to add
Piccolo.
about Xenoverse?
Yeah, I think okay. That's pretty much all about Universe. But okay, what's the next category?
Manga.
Manga. Recently, for the Dragon Ball manga, they've now introduced a new chapter relating to their hit movie, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Superhero, which is a hit series. Now you can buy this, you can watch this movie by personally buying it online, or seeing how it is presented now. But
Yes.
personally, I believe this movie is a great feature to this series, as they introduce new things about certain characters besides the main characters. It's a way to reintroduce some new people, along with a nice, refreshing story. But for the chapters within this manga, they've introduced uh, the movie into the story as they're now slowly and reintroducing these new forms found in this movie into the manga, now on paper.
Yes. They are doing that. It's kind of slow. They only release these pages, well, these chapters once a month, and we haven't gotten that far into the story. Recently, they tackled a subject that many people did not like about the movie, where the main character Goku talks about the other main character Vegeta and how he's meditating instead of training physically, which is a very weird comment for Goku to be making, considering his training persists
He's
of
not the brightest.
he's he's dumb, but a lot of his training, his training in the show and in the uh yeah in the show and the manga, especially now because he has a specific form called Ultra Instinct, which is a lot of calm, relaxing focus. So him to be commenting on meditating being a weird form of training is weird. But in the manga, they actually addressed that and they fixed that. How he instead points out it's weird seeing Vegeta be doing that, considering he's usually being the physical training one.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing recently, well, it's old news, but recently they just showed the coloring for Black Frieza, a new form
Oh
for a very
yeah.
formidable foe. Uh, Most people guess what this coloring would be looking like before they actually revealed it officially, and most people were spot on. I think it
Really,
looks great.
yeah, it's a
Many
nice
people
design,
don't seem to
honestly.
like it for some reason.
It's honestly
Ver-
nice. It's a nice color, really,
It's
because
very, it's a very nice color. It fits him, especially since he's super evil.
what's next on the category? Is it the show, or is it
Gohan's on the screen. I just opened the stream. Uh, Movies.
movies? Well, as you can see, as we talked about before, the movies are really interesting. They've added two new movies so far relating to the story. One releasing about a year ago, and one relatively near 2020, if I'm right.
2018.
2018, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Broly came out right at the end of the anime.
Actually, oh, I
Yeah,
actually
like when the anime ended
I
the
do
same
not
year.
remember.
Well, it's
Oh.
okay. I don't. It's hard to remember.
Mm.
Gohan. Okay, so the movies. There are a lot of movies, especially earlier in the series. They would release a movie for maybe like two or three per arc
Per
in the
year.
series.
Oh, arc. Oh, I mean, two fair
Yeah,
arcs going for a couple. Oh, but
it'd, it'd be a lot. But those movies weren't relevant to the story. They all the things that would happen in the movies don't actually happen in the shows. They don't correlate. They're just like side stories for fun. But
yep.
recently in Dragon Ball Super, not Z, they have the movies have been canon to the story. So the events that happen in the movies have been happening in the stories, and they relate to each other. Like Battle of Gods is where they show a new villain, new form, and then when they go back to the actual show, that all sticks true. And same thing with the next thing, Resurrection F, new form, new villain, well, returning villain, and then they re-show that in the show.
But honestly, I do like how their approach with the movies, though. I won't lie. Um, for the first movie that came out, or one of the most popular movies that came out, uh, Dragon Ball Super Broly, they've introduced a character that some people may be familiar with. Broly being a former character villain from another movie, who is very popular to many fans, but now they've reintroduced him as a different type of character, still having some certain similarities from before, but now being drawn into a new type of personality and character.
Active skill.
Yay.
Uh, yeah, Broly, he's gone from major evil villain to antagonist, and the difference between that is he's not his intentions aren't evil, but he does go against the protagonist in
He's just
his.
very confused. He's a
Yes,
very
he's a
like
very confused.
innocent character, just
Yes,
unsure on what to do.
yeah. But that movie is very beloved and is in direct competition with the only other recent super movie, which is one on screen, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. People love both movies. Most people seem to like the Broly movie more. I personally love Superhero more because one of my favorite characters, which is our next topic, is
Gohan.
Gohan, which is one of the forefronts of this movie, along with Piccolo. They both get new forms, which seem to be on par with the main characters of Goku and Vegeta, who have forms from training with actual gods. And yeah, they find a way to reintroduce characters that seem to be irrelevant for a lot of the series, which is always good, and introduce a new character like
Good screen
Pan
time. Yeah.
and both Gammas. But yeah, movies in Z were very odd, and super movies are all relevant to the actual story.
Yep.
On to our next and final topic, we have characters.
Characters.
The main part of any kind of series are the characters. That's what makes up the series. In starting early on, Goku, when he was a kid, very dumb, didn't know anything. His main thing
What's
was
changed?
he loved his grandpa and he was very strong. So he met another character, Bulma, who he introduced him to the world basically.
Yeah, and they went on like a bunch of adventures to find these magical wish orbs called
All the
the
Dragon
Dragon
Balls.
Balls. Yeah.
Yeah, the Dragon Balls. But yes, after that they go on a bunch of adventures. They train with a very strong Earthling. Uh,
I
at
meet
this point in the
many.
series, we do not know that Goku's an alien, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they meet many very powerful foes. Some turning into allies, some still staying foes, but many interesting fights within the story.
yes. And
As
those who stay foes don't
like
stay alive. That's the best way I can put it. Demon King Piccolo gone.
New Piccolo stayed.
Piccolo's